everybody. Today we'll be going over my Champions Seoul group stage pick'ems for 2024. But before we get into it, I just want to explain the format real quick. So each group, there's 4 different groups, as one team from every single region. There's a 1 seed, a 2 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, and 4 seed. And this is based on the team's placement in their league's playoffs or qualifying through champions points. But aside from that, every single group is chosen at random. So for instance, in Group A, we have the EMEA 1 seed in Fnatic because they won the champion or the playoffs in EMEA. Then we have the Pacific 2 seed because they got 2nd place. Then we have the Americas 3 seed because they got 3rd place, obviously. And then finally we have the Chinese 4 seed in Bilibili, and the 4 seed is whichever team in that region qualified through champions points rather than playoffs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 1 and the 4 always go against each other, and the 2 and the 3 always go against each other in the opening round. But with that being said, let's actually do these pick'ems. So I'm not gonna make any strange predictions here. I just think Fnatic are by far better than Bilibili. I really hope Bilibili goes on another run and qualifies somehow, but they're not gonna do it against Fnatic, that's for sure. As for DRX and Crew, I think this one is much closer, but I think DRX have proven to be a little bit more have a little more gusto in their tank, and Crew have looked a little bit shaky. They're still not really sure how their IGLing is working, and I think DRX is definitely looking better. But now this complicates things. There has been some allegations against, I believe, one of the DRX team members, and I don't know if all 5 players are going to champs. They may need a sub, because in the allegations, the player is possibly getting cut from the team. But I'm going to be choosing this under the assumption that all 5 main roster members are going to champs, and he gets cut afterwards. And in that case, I do think DRX will beat Crew. As for the elimination game, I'm really sorry, Bilibili, but I do think that Crew are just better. I wish that I could see Bilibili in the playoffs again, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Crew are just a little bit more solid of a team. And then between Fnatic and DRX, I do think Fnatic are gonna take it. DRX are good, but Fnatic have had a little bit of a resurgence this year, and I'm really happy with how they're playing. Especially some of their double duelist stuff is just looking really good. Moving on to DRX versus Crew again. Yeah, I'm just gonna go DRX. I know this is a very basic, boring pick, but you know, I just don't think Crew have what it takes to get in there. And I think Fnatic and DRX will qualify through Group A. That's it. Now moving on to Group B. This is a very strong group. Between Sentinels and Gen.G, Sentinels have had a little bit of issues in the back end, and Gen.G have really looked like one of the best teams in the world. I'm just going to pick Gen.G over Sentinels. But for FPX versus Team Heretics, Heretics have used to look really, really good, especially in Stage 1, but FPX have been looking really good all year, and Heretics have been a little shakier in Stage 2. I think that am I gonna do an upset pick here? I think I'm gonna go for FPX over Team Heretics in an upset win. I think nobody's gonna be expecting it, but I think that FPX are gonna make it through. Now as for the elimination, Sen versus Heretics, this is another really hard ask. They're both really great teams, but I think I'm gonna go Heretics, honestly. Oh man, I'm an Americas fan and I'm not choosing any Americas teams. I'm just gonna have to put my faith in Leviatan, I guess. Yeah, I think Sen are gonna go out without a win. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I didn't think I would choose that. But then Genji versus FPX, Genji are gonna win it. And then I think FPX are a little bit easy to predict after you've played them a few times. So I think Heretics are actually gonna qualify over them in the decider, get the revenge, and make it into the playoffs. Submit. On to Group C. Leviatan versus Talon. Honestly, I don't even think Talon should be in here. Like, it's really cool that they just signed Primi and then all of a sudden started shooting shots. But I really think that Team Secret should have been the one getting into the champs. But I'm gonna go for Leviatan over Talon. Leviatan have looked really, really good this split. They only dropped one game in the entire year, I think, outside of Shanghai, of course. I'm going to go for Team Vitality over Trace. I've been really liking the way Safe's playing recently. Trace have looked really good, but Vitality have had a big resurgence this playoffs in the EMEA. They've looked really, really good. And Trace are only the 3 seed in an are they the 3 seed? Yeah, they're the 3 seed in China. And Vitality's the 2 seed, right? I was trying to remember. But I do think that Trace just don't have what it takes to beat out Team Vitality. Now as for Talon versus Trace, ooh, I don't know. I think that Talon have a little bit more firepower overall, especially with the addition of Primi. That is gonna make them beat out Trace. Unfortunately, so far, I've picked no Chinese teams and no America's teams, but that is going to change because I think Leviatan are going to beat out Team Vitality. Team Vitality have looked really good, but Safe has kind of been like the only shooter for them. And Leviatan, obviously, they have Aspas, but like King, Mizuno have looked really good. Tex has looked really good. And though Kam is a little shaky, he has some really good games, some really bad games. I think he's better overall. I think the team overall is just better than Team Vitality. And then I think Vitality will beat out Talon again. Oh, not again, but I think that they're definitely going to qualify. Safe has just looked insane. Primi's looks really good, but Safe, especially this past couple days, has just looked really, really good. Submit. Now on to the last one. Am I finally going to get a Chinese team? Yes. Oh man, I don't know. You know what? Yes, I'm gonna go for EDG over Foot here. I don't know. I haven't watched many EDG games recently, or Foot games for that matter. But Foot went out early in the playoffs. They kind of underperformed, and EDG, you know, especially in their first opening games, EDG have looked really good in playoffs, especially. And I think that they'll just have what it takes to take out Foot. But on to G2 versus Paper Rex. This is literally like, I have no idea. I would say it's a coin flip, but I do think that it's actually favoring G2, maybe 60-40. Paper Rex, probably one of my favorite teams, but G2, probably one of my other favorite teams. Of course, they have to be placed next to each other. I'm gonna go for G2 over Paper Rex. Paper Rex, they've looked really good, but Jing hasn't quite made it back to his all-time high from before his leave. He's still very good, but he's just not quite hitting as high as he used to be. And G2, they're coming off of a second place win in playoffs Americas and third place overall in Shanghai. They've looked really, really solid. And like they're basically like the perfect counter to Paper Rex, where Paper Rex are super fast, super aggressive, very crazy, chaotic. G2 are super slow, very methodical. They play what some would call like perfect Valorant, even though it's a little boring. It's very thought out and basically the perfect counter to Paper Rex. So I do think that they're gonna take it. For Foot versus Paper Rex, oh man, I have to go Paper Rex. Honestly, I don't know who's gonna win this game, but I'm a Paper Rex fan. I've got to choose Paper Rex here. And then for EDG versus G2, I do think that G2 are gonna make it out. Oh man, am I not gonna have a single Chinese team make it to champs? There's no way, right? Yeah, I chose against FPX. Oh no, I don't feel good about this. But honestly, I just think Paper Rex are better than EDG right now. Do I? This is such a hard decision. I'm gonna go for Paper Rex, but I'm not trying to jinx them. Knock on wood. My desk is made of wood. I just knocked on it. I'm sure you could hear. I'm gonna go for Paper Rex. Oh, my phone buzzed. Gonna go for Paper Rex over EDG. I honestly don't feel very good about this pick. This is probably one of the hardest groups to predict. I think Fnatic and DRX, Group A is pretty simple to predict. Fnatic look great. DRX have looked good, less great as Fnatic, but they're definitely better than Billy and crew. Gen G are in the contenders to actually win out overall. I think Heretics could have been. I think that FPX definitely could be Heretics. Should I? Did I choose? No, I'm gonna leave it at that. That was my first instinct. I'm gonna leave it at Heretics go through. Leviatan definitely goes through. I think that these three teams, you know, there's something up in the air, but I think Vitality will make it. Wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make it, but I think that they'll make it. And for G2, they're definitely gonna go through no matter what. Paper Rex versus EDG and Foot. Any one of these teams, all three of these teams could make it. This is such a hard group. We have an absolutely stacked champs ahead of us. I cannot wait to watch. Okay, but I'm gonna leave it at that. So my teams are Fnatic, DRX, Gen G, Team Heretics, Leviatan, Vitality, G2 Esports, and Paper Rex to make it into playoffs. I didn't predict a single Chinese team, and I kind of feel bad about that, but honestly, these teams are just looking so good. Like, I kind of want FPX to make it through, but I also want Heretics to make it through. Kind of want EDG to make it through, but I need Paper Rex to make it through. Come on, they deserve it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will cover the games as they come up next week or whenever it actually starts. When does it start? In August, and I will see you all then. Later.